Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully it loaded right. Okay, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Oh, heavens. How fascinating. Yeah, my dreams have just been really off the charts lately. So welcome back, Annie Bear. Hello, Hypnicity. Hi, Rossi. Wawa Nui. Oh, goodness, goodness. And hello, Agutica. How are you? You see, I have felt a weird pressure in my ears when I'm around an angry person. Dimensional. Um, Beautiful. That's great news. Very glad to hear that. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Can a spirit guide take you on a trip while you are sleeping? He did with me last week. Yes, yes, Paul, absolutely. Wawa nui, Jane Donaldson. Huna hamani sa. Hello, Hoy Hunsinger. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yay, Wawa nui. Yeah, Paul's talking about can a spirit guide take you on a journey? Absolutely. Absolutely. And in fact, some of my dream times have been pretty exhausting this week. It comes and goes. Thankfully, I'd had a period for months on end where I really wasn't doing anything. I think they dialed me out. But last week, boy, did we make up for it. I felt like I lived through like 5 different lifetimes. And so we were going to spaceships, and then there were other adventures where it was just plain old movie theaters, and then others where it was different dimensions, different spaces. So it's quite an adventure, and sometimes I think you wake up exhausted because you've just been traveling to different places. So let me see right quick here. So yes, I'm going to speak to this right quick too. Yes, and the reason why is because it's very much why I tell you to do the bubble technique around yourself. And by that, I mean allow the light to come in from above, wash all the way through your body, and allow it to go all the way into Mother Earth. Let it be whatever color it wants to be, and then allow another light to come from below, and it's going to push up through your feet. Both of these are then going to meet in your heart space, and then you push that like a bubble all the way around your body. You step into the bubble, and then you can place another colored bubble around the outside of that if you need even more protection. And there are times whenever the colors of the bubbles will change. I try to let them be whatever color they're going to be, because sometimes, even if it's a color that you don't like, it may be that one of your chakras or your aura needs that color for balancing that day. Or it may be because you're going to be encountering something that day to where it's going to be beneficial to you to have that. But what you're going to encounter is our energy systems that we have. We put that energy out into the spaces around our body. And normal people can recognize that as, hey, that's my personal space. Everybody kind of has a different personal space. You know where you're most comfortable. Some people are very comfortable having people in their spaces a good 3 feet, maybe even closer. They can stand closer together. And then you've got other people that are like, this is my space. I need my space. Back up, back up, back up. And to that, you're going to need a good 10 feet around you, or maybe 5 feet, 7 feet, something like that is more comfortable. So when you've got somebody that is upset, that is angry, their aura and their energy flow is not correct. And so what you will see sometimes, and you'll see this in acupuncture, is you'll see these grids or these spikes almost coming off the person in different locations. And so it will feel weird, and you can definitely hear and have that weird sound sensation in the ears when somebody is angry around you. You can certainly pick up the pressure on your body if you can feel somebody around you. And it can feel quite uncomfortable whenever that's happening. So we're going to turn that off. And whoops, wait. It jumped. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay. So Annie Bear's been meditating at night, and it's been helping great. That's wonderful. Absolutely. Been speaking out to and calling the behavior out respectfully, privately, and firmly. Beautiful. I find it difficult to meditate, but I saw all of them back in the day in one whole night. Wow, that's some serious laser focus. Huh. But the difference between Utica, the difference between meditating and the Harry Potter movies is our minds are busy. They are constantly monitoring what's going on around us. And so they like to have a task to do. When you are focused on the Harry Potter movies, you're being allowed stimulation that follows a particular pattern, especially if there is a movie that you've already seen over and over and over again. You know what's going to happen. So while your brain can be led along, and there is some entrainment in any movie, truthfully, what's going to happen is your brain will be happy because it's following along the storylines. It's not having to come up with new things. It's kind of being led by the hand. And yet, with a meditation, what you're trying to do is focus on quieting the mind itself. And sometimes what you can do with the meditation to begin with, you don't have to do really long times. You will build up to that only if you need to. But what I suggest trying to do is just maybe even a minute. Practice just a minute. And the simplest way to do it is you will be counting in for a breath of 4, holding the breath, and then letting the count out for a breath of 6. Some people will do it for a count of 8. Some people will do 7, 5. You'll find your rhythm. But the important thing on that is you want to ask your brain to do the counting for the in and the out. And if you lose track, it's no problem. But that might help your mind to do a task that's very simple, very focused, so that it can calm down while you're doing the breathing. And if you find it to be comfortable, you can continue to extend it. As you begin to lose your place with the counting and your mind begins to wander, bring it back to your breathing. Don't judge yourself. You're going to be using Totoroa for that. Go into your observer mode and you will observe that it happened. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Something in this room is really setting me off today. I suspect it's pollen. But you're going to use your observer mode and go, look at that. It did it again. No big deal. And then you go back to your breathing again. You just focus in. Hi, Randy. Well, anyway, focus in for a count of 4 and then let it back out again for a count of. I did meditate, but the last 2 days. Okay, so you're practicing. So, yeah. Sure, absolutely. Although, you're bringing these stuff up and other people can find this helpful too. So she's having to deal with processing anger. And much like Annie Bear saw, there is anger that is going on. So I'm going to make a pause. Wow, Paul, that sounds great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right quickly. And I'm going to do just a little bit of reaching through the field. And we're going to do some quick energy work. Even though my focus this week I was trying to get to my Lemurian Light Codes. And I'm trying to do the focus primarily on, so if you're here for the astrology, I will be speaking on that as well here in just a few minutes. But let's process the anger. A lot of the anger can come from the outside world is not doing exactly what I want it to do. Either somebody is not behaving the way I expect them to behave, and or underneath that you feel threatened. Your safety usually feels threatened, and so it causes a pressure, a trigger. And so a lot of us are already overstimulated, our nervous systems especially. The breathing technique can help to calm things down, primarily because it's giving your brain something to do, but you are also practicing bringing in a deeper breath into the body. You are freeing up the diaphragm. When we're angry or we are upset or we're terrified something is going to be happening to us, we will freeze a lot of times, or excuse me, or we'll do just a flat out panic, and that will affect our breathing system. Okay, I did not intend to do energy work today, but apparently we're going to be doing some quick energy work. You know what? For everybody here and on the replay, even though I was intending to focus primarily on my Lemurian stuff, we're going to start everybody off. We're going to start everybody off right quick with the bubble technique. And even though I just described it to you, what I'm going to do is I want to walk us through it. It's not just that someone or something. I don't think it's just the pollen. What I'm thinking is I'm thinking that someone or something has been started on my throat, because it really didn't even start until I was doing my other oracle card read. So, people, what I want you to do for humans is go ahead and look up. I have a trigger when someone else wants to control me. You got that right, Randy. So what I need you to do is go ahead and just gently look up at a point towards the ceiling and then close your eyes. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you imagine just a bright white light coming into the top of your head. That's interesting in its own right. So we've got a color even this time. Although every color of the rainbow is held in that white. So we're going to power wash into the top of the head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding extra energy to this as it flows down and through the body. And we're going to go right through the top of the head, washing all the way down through the body. We're going to actually open that channel up even wider. I know a lot of us start off with a narrow band aiming for the top of the head, but we're actually going to have it so wide it's going to fall in and around our bodies as it goes through the top of the head, completely washing through the top of the head, all the way through the forehead, brain, bathing the pineal gland, the pituitary structures, hypothalamus to slow things down a little bit, thalamus, easing down through the brainstem at the back of the brain, occipital lobe, going through the teeth, the nose, the eyes, calming all of that down, gentle, 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 down through the throat. That light is bathing all around the tops of the shoulders, bathing in and around the neck, the throat, down through the shoulder blades, in and around the shoulder blades, down through the tops of the arms, down through the arms, the elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, out towards Mother Earth. That same light is still bathing all through your chest, through the lung space, in and around the heart. Just going to add some extra for Hypnicity's family. And if you're struggling with heart, just going to go ahead and bathe out in a nice, pure light, soothing, calming, cleaning, transmuting anything that's going on in there. Good. Down through the diaphragm and down your back at the same time. Same bright white light, and it's still falling all the way around you in a dazzling beam that's pushing through your tummy and your back, bathing in your lower back and your hips, all through the abdomen, power washing through any gunky energy that might have been stuck, through the hips, thighs, knees, down through your calves, your shins, power washing through the ankles, through the feet, all the way through the feet, tips of your feet and your toes, into Mother Earth. Keep that light going from above. Mother Earth is going to bring you a colored light from below. Let it be whatever color it wants to be. We're going to bring that back up through the feet, ankles. Feel it pushing up through your calves and shins, up through the knees, up through your thighs, into the hips, pushing up through your abdomen, up through the diaphragm, Now let these two lights meet in your heart space. Let's get any ease, any extra ease that we need around the heart today. Now allow this bubble to expand all the way around you and step into this bubble so that the only thing in this bubble is you and this higher light coming in from above and below. Good. Hey, Mousy. There we go. Okay, now everybody feels a heck of a lot better than whenever we very first started. Hopefully that person that had the trouble with their nose is feeling better. Hi, Amanda Carroll. Okay, so what we did was a bubble technique. And this is very protective, especially if you are an empathic person. And an empathic person will naturally pick up on the energy of those people that are in and around us. We think that it's going to be our energy, but it's not. You've accidentally picked up somebody else's stuff. And Utica, I'm not saying that it's not your energy because it is valid. It can easily be yours. But I know you tend to be empathic, so you may have accidentally picked up, and you are trying to transmute and express energy for somebody else, and it does not work that way. It cannot work that way. So I'm going to scroll back up here because Paul had something really, really cool that I wanted to see right quick. Said, let's see. Paul had a dream, so he had a visitor. He took me to a building that was done in silver and gold. It was called the Orientation Center, and in here there are people like you and me, and they are counselors. They help you whenever you cross over. That is so cool. How interesting. I feel like a conductor then. Huh? That would be interesting. But yeah, Randy has it right. I trigger when somebody else tries to control me. You are the highest authority on you. And you don't have to be loud about it, but you can absolutely set your boundaries. And you should. So, yeah, mother. The problem with our first family, especially our parents, is that they will forever see you young. And so a lot of times what can happen is they won't see you as the adult that you have matured into. It makes it a little tricky. Yep. Hey, Amanda Carroll, work listening. That's beautiful. Hello, Jules. Learning to listen. Your heart loves this. That's wonderful. That's great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so now that my throat is not under extreme attack, hey, there you go. I extended my bubble. Come here, you. There we go. Extended my bubble to include our property. Yes, you absolutely can. If you feel comfortable to do this. If you feel like you're doing this and you feel like you're getting too thin or you're afraid that you can't hold it, don't. But if you feel like you can hold this easily, you can absolutely include your property and your space. And you can, as you're traveling around, like if you're in a car or something, you can drive through that as well. In the Pacific Northwest. Gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely, because that's your space, Annie Bear. My only thing is I would caution you, make sure when you do this that you absolutely do the balance of the lights first. You need to have the light coming in from above and below first and balance that and then push it out because you're working with this energy from the overflow. If doing this makes you feel tired, especially exhausted, stop. Because what you're doing is you're accidentally giving your personal energy to that intention, and you don't want to do that at all. So what you need to do is you need to have the light come from above and below so that you are fully supported. When I'm doing my energy healing, I am never working using my personal energy. I am always channeling the energy from the universe. And as Nikola Tesla said, this is energy that's always around us. So that's the only caution that I would say. If you're falling into exhaustion or you feel irritable or you feel compelled like you have to do it, then don't. Bring in your bubbles and set them around you instead. And you'll know, you've done enough energy work with this that you'll know that. So, let's see, I'm feeling powerful. I feel like I need to leave. Somebody else's weight carrying somebody else's energy. Yeah, and sometimes it's really tricky. Paul's feeling it. Let's see here. Yes, love the Pacific Northwest. I do too. Oh, interesting. So he said, be sure to go back and tell everybody what you saw. Well, that's gorgeous. Well done. Well done. I was loud. His name was Alan. Wow, that's really cool. That is really cool. Now, this is correct. Randy has it right. She said, nope, that's it. Set your boundaries, and then I'm in a new moment. Yes, because the new moment is what we have. And so you don't want the old gunk coming into your new. Yeah, I need my hubby's guides to get him through this stuff. 3 stents are put in yesterday. I did send extra energy when I did the bringing in the lights just now. I did send an extra intent to that. So anybody that has anything to do with the heart, the energy was built into that. And if you're new to me, the energy on that, I do energy healing, and mine tends to be meridian based. But I will go through all of the stuff. It's not just the meridians, which are the rivers of energy that flow in and around our bodies. These are the same ones that get used for the acupuncture or acupressure systems, but it'll also be for the chakra systems as well, which are also known as Kaha systems. And the Lemuria. Okay, so the last one he showed me. Interesting. Here we go. Here we go. So the last vision, last one he showed me was an 8x10 screen, and he said, "This is your life. Review it." Wow, we all get this one when we cross over. How interesting. That's fun. Okay. Hey, Gray. How you doing? I've been sending in energy since this morning. Excuse me. Then I woke up. That's quite a journey dream, Paul. What do you think? Do you have a new friend? Do you think he'll come visit you again? That's okay, Utica. I will get there. Mostly I do these things as themes. So that's so cool. It's been, yeah, you're hoping he'll come back. He probably will, especially if you encourage. It's been an interesting week for me energetically. There's been a lot of things going on energetically. The UFO friends, but one of the fascinating things to me was this week, I think when that was. That would have been Sunday. I traveled out of my area, out of my usual area, and I went down to my old stomping grounds down in Lincoln City. And actually, let me move the slides forward so you can kind of see. Yeah, this is a little darker than what I usually see, but I wanted to give it as a example of, you can see the light on the water, and this is Lincoln City. This is one of the photos from one of the beaches down there. The light patterns that I can see whenever I'm outside, especially when the sunlight is strong, I had noticed over the last few days that the light codes that I normally see in my area had stopped. And yet whenever I had traveled down to Lincoln City and I stopped and stepped out, the very first words out of my mouth were, whoa. And my hubby asked, because he thought I was having a moment where it was, he was kind of concerned that I was maybe dizzy or something. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, you would not believe, I normally see just 1 or 2 of these, but what happens is there was just energy teeming all around. There was light codes absolutely everywhere. So, yeah, it was intense. Someone is, what's happening in the chat is completely not what I'm talking about. So what happened with Jules? Oh, okay. So something's going on with Jules learning to listen. Jules, and for everybody that is looking for energy healing today, I did a small amount of energy with that. But what I'm going to suggest is last week we did a super intensive, focused entirely on the energy healing. And so last week, especially, I did an open channel for the energy, and it lasted almost the entire live stream. So supposedly we got a solar light flare. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to scooch backwards here a little bit. I don't know if you can see this well enough. But what I wanted to introduce to people that aren't familiar with Lemuria, we're going to start off with some Lemurian light codes, and then we're going to go over our beloved Mutus, which are the beings that are right in front of us. And so we're going to get started with some light code first. Tihe ori ora mahaka wa tahit ingwa to irita otopona why you with the boot. It ingwa tafani trani tao why you with the boot. It ingwa the fire tamatu at the tama why you with the boot. Tihe ori ora. Okay, I'm actually hearing we're going to do a new technique today, and we're going to be working on our structures. I know a lot of us will tend to work with the Gregorian calendars, and of course, we're going to have a change of one astrological sign to another, but we also have all these times, days, seconds, weeks, months, etc., years, blah, blah. So this coding is going to go through, and we're going to put it in alignment to days this time. So we're going to be utilizing Tukipenga Maui, which is the net of Maui, which is the net of the children of heaven or children from the stars. So let's get started. Tukipenga Maui, un rata. Tukipenga Maui, un ra rehu. Tukipenga Maui, un ra maki. Tukipenga Maui, wi paka. Tukipenga Maui, tika. Tukipenga Maui, toho. Tukipenga Maui, sa. Tukipenga Maui, sa. Tukipenga Maui, toho. Tukipenga Maui, tika. Tukipenga Maui, wi paka. Tukipenga Maui, maki. Tukipenga Maui, rehu. Tukipenga Maui, ta. Okay, we're just going to let that settle. Rosie snoring. That's beautiful. There we go. Welcome back. Oh, okay. Dolphins are actually saying we're going to do one more Lemurian process here. And this one's called an undoing. Most people are pretty familiar with it because I usually do it right after the harmonization, which was the very first thing we did. So let's do one. That's wonderful, Paul. Let's do one there and back again with the undoing. And what this means is it's going to clean slate any negative stories or negative energies. And it collapses the old stories back to 0 point. It's also called scalar energy. There we go. One thing that's very important whenever I'm speaking these codes, and as I'm going to go through the Lemurian birth signs here, don't worry about your brain trying to wrap itself around what the words are. You're going to be hearing the names of the Motu specifically, and what that is going to be a light code essence. That's why you'll see me put my name out there for the Huna Kamaroha. It actually is going to be the light code essence of, it's not really a name. You're getting the direct essence. Hi, Cosmic Blue Avian. A nice gift to go to sleep to. That's beautiful. Hi, Amanda Carroll. And so the Lemurian birth signs, as you will see, begins in the very center, and that is the Ma'ita. So those that are born on the 29th, 30th, or 31st of any of the months are known as Ma'ita. It is the symbol of the crystal, and it is the crystal light of days. And this is coming from the central sun. So yes, that is located in the Alchian belt. And so we have the undistorted light that comes from the central sun. And it's going to radiate out through each one of these motu. The birth signs are represented by cosmic beings. And so we're going to start at the very bottom of the chart. And this is with, it's going to come through the stargate of Tona. That is the child's gate of the Southern Cross. So this is Tona, and we're going to start off with the cute, cuddly little one at the bottom. That's called Kopanui for the Motu. The symbol of Kopanui is a wombat, and so there is a cosmic being that is taking the shape, the form of the wombat. I got us covered. The essence of the wombat is the child, the womb and child. And so you will see in this month, it's not just those people that are born in this month, but everybody will get to experience. And so as the undistorted light comes through Tona, it will beam that essence of the childlike wonder onto the entire planet. And so the essence or the medicine of this month, the way to undo or to lean into and have a more naturally nature aligned essence, is to lean into the childlike wonder. So you can do any creative things. You can do painting, you can do gardening, you can do singing, you can do like in my case, I've got graphic designs that I've been doing pretty much all month. So any creative endeavor, writing is another thing that you can do. And so we're going to move over to the next birth sign. So we have the undistorted light that's coming from the central sun. And for this month, pop up just to ensure I've got this right. Yes. Okay, this month will be Ta'u, and that will be the Alpha Centauri as we come into the motu of Kaka. And this is the essence of the voice. And the neat thing about parrots, because it is represented by a talking parrot. Bye, Annie Bear. Thanks for stopping by. Sure. And so with the Kaka, it doesn't speak just to the voice. It also speaks to our communication systems, or reaching out to the brotherhood and the sisterhood. Let it go. Absolutely. And the nice thing too, because I've met some people that are Kakas, and they said, but I'm shy. Well, if you actually meet macaws, they can be extremely shy around people that they don't know. And that's the other thing that you need to consider too, is very much like the discernment card that came up this week. You need to choose, is this someone that I really want to share what I'm talking about with? Be discerning about who you're speaking to. You can still be civil to people. You don't have to share your greatest ideas or dreams with them as well. So that is the essence of Kaka. The next month, we have it coming from Ma'ita, and it will beam onto Fatwa or Fatura. This is the sign of the falcon, which also crosses into, they actually have extremely large wings for this sign, the sign of the condor. The essence of this month is going to be purification. And a lot of times people will do purification very strongly as they're attacking their diets or exercise routines. But you need to consider purification also of what are you spending your most time with? Is it making you happy? Is it supporting you? Is it bringing you life? And so this month is really great for looking things over and discarding things that don't support you. So next up, we have the Lemurian sign of, or the motu of the dove. So if you're born in September 1st through the 28th, yours is going to be the sign of the dove. This is the sign of Namu. The essence of this month will be peace. And the stargate for this month will be Wahi. Beautiful. So next we have the Lemurian motu of Kitty. This is a sign of the lamb. And the essence of this month for the October babies, October 1st through the 28th, your essence of this month will be the truth. And so during the October month, you're actually going to be leaning into and hearing or listening or watching for and speaking truth, real truth. You'll know it because it's going to be highlighted with the undistorted light from the central sun. See, what happens is our undistorted light from the central sun hits the planet, and there were many, many filters that were put onto the planet thousands of years ago, and it causes distortions. And so, what you're hearing today, what you're experiencing, and some of you may fall asleep from this, but you're experiencing the light codes from Lemuria to undo the distortions. Okay? I'm glad you're liking it, Paul. So now we're up to Kahuku. And with this, what's going to happen is, again, the light from the central sun comes through Sirius A for Kahuku, sign of the butterfly. This is going to be for November 1st through the 28th. The essence for this month is transformation. And generally, those that are born during November 1st through the 28th, the sign of Kahuku, they're pretty used to this. And you'll hear things, you'll experience things, and it will go from your truth to your internalization so that you can have your transformation. Next, the light from the undistorted light from Ma'ita beams straight to Okapi, which is the next sign. This is December 1st through the 28th, and the essence of Okapi, which is the forest giraffe, is the light of Father. Now you will notice that the light of Father is the exact opposite of the little wombat. So the light of Father with Tokay, the North Star, supports Tona, which is the child and the womb. That's what the essence of this month is. It's a supportive essence. And so next, as we go through, we're going to have the light, the undistorted light is going to beam through Sirius B, which is Kahu, sign of the whale. But it's going to beam that through that. It's the stargate for the whale, which is Sirius B, which is Kahu, and it beams onto the planet for Hia, which is the sign of the hare. And I always say that this is the enduring month. So if you're born January 1st through the 28th, yours is a sign of endurance. And these are amazing beings. They're able to do some quantum jumping with those amazing, strong legs of theirs. Next up, we're going to have the undistorted light beaming into Tirani, which is the sign of our hummingbird. The hummingbird is a tiny voice from heaven. Why are the signs in a counterclockwise direction? Because we are undoing, Utica. We are undoing the distortions that have happened on the planet. So we go backwards in order to undo the filters that have been put in place on us. And the nice thing with Tirani is, like I said, the tiny voice from heaven. So during this month of February, so that's going to be the 1st through the 28th, Tirani brings in the messages. So you're going to have messages from the sacred spaces. You can have messages from your guides. You can have messages coming in from the cosmic beings. As I said, they're cute and they're cuddly. The representations of these are so that we are not afraid, because these are actually extremely large cosmic beings that are supporting us in this. So we have Tirani, the sign of the hummingbird, and it will bring in the quiet, tiny voices from heaven so that we can get messages in from our star nations and our star families. So next we have Honu, which is the sign of the sea turtle, and who doesn't love the sea turtle? Honu is represented during March 1st through the 28th. Honu represents navigation. In the oceans, they will navigate thousands of miles, riding the ocean currents. And so what happens is, as we have got our messages in from the universe, we will then use the energies from Honu to navigate through and integrate the messages that came in. And then we'll kind of take a look at our lives and we'll see how we're going to use those new messages. And then next, we're going to have the undistorted light coming into Tuatara. Tuatara is the sign of the smiling gecko. But as you will notice in front of you, even though that is the symbol for it, you're actually seeing the real Tuatara. They're not really a gecko. But the essence of that is the smile. Tuataras are very primitive, very old. They're wisdom keepers. But this sign actually is all about the smile. And that's what the essence is going to be leaning into. So we'll be using the smile as the medicine then. That's what this cosmic being is bringing in. This Motu, Tuatara, brings in the essence or the medicine of the smile. And yes, it will look like a dragon. The Tuatara is amazing and is extremely ancient, and to my knowledge is the only ones left in their own species genre, so to speak. They're kind of fossilized remnants of the dinosaurs. They have a third eye, and they have some other quirks, and they live in New Zealand. And then the last sign that we have coming up will be Totoroa. Thanks for stopping in, Paul. Totoroa is the sign of the albatross. And as the essence beams in through this month, it's determination. But it is also the last month of the Lemurian New Year or year. And so with this, not only does it talk of getting up on those mighty wings, and thank you for sharing, Paul. Thank you very much for sharing your vision. But to get back to Totoroa, not only is it up on those mighty wings, but it speaks to the observer mode. So the medicine for this month, and I think we need to use it a little bit more if you get pulled into the polarity or what's going on with the Yaya show out there right now. Go up on your mighty wings and observe from on high. But it also speaks of looking back over your year. How did the year go for you? As you move into the Lemurian New Year, which we just did. Paul, I think it's incredible. You've been on this amazing journey, and I'm so happy that you're coming and hanging out here with us and sharing I knew that it would happen to you. Anybody that's coming in and they're hanging out and they're sharing and everything, sometimes you'll start off with you can't feel the energy that I put out, or you can't interact with, or you can't see the UFOs or have the experiences with. I won't really say that you can start off with having experiences with ghosts. I don't really recommend hanging out too much with ghosts because ghosts are another one of those where, by their very nature, they kind of have to siphon energy off of you, and I don't recommend it. But I understand sometimes for people, they want to have experiences with ghosts to know that there's different dimensions. But the more that you hang out here, you'll begin to understand that there are a lot of different dimensions in and around us, and there are a lot of beings. And so a lot of it is just tuning your frequency in order to be able to experience the stuff. So Paul's been on quite a journey. But this was why I wanted to bring forward also the Lemurian birth signs, is because, like I said, our planet has been put under a lot of very old filters that have been distortions. And yes, I welcome our star families because we are Maui. We are children of the heavens. We are children from the stars. So we are our own star families. And as we reach out to each other and we begin to network with each other, and I'm bringing in the old information. This isn't new. This isn't something that I made up. This is old information, ancient information that was preserved in the mystery schools in New Zealand. They're not the only ones, but this is exactly where I learned it from, was from Huna Flash, Hunama'uta Kumara Taki. He was trained since the age of 7 in the mystery schools in New Zealand. So the information that I'm bringing forward, there's a ton of information behind it, but the dolphins last year and the whales really wanted me to bring forward this specific information about the Lemurian birth signs so that more and more people could hear it to help undo the distortions, to help undo the filters that had been put in place. So when you're hearing these names or you're experiencing these motu, that's just it. I'm doing this so that you can hear the names and experience the light codes firsthand, so that it's beginning to hit not just your outer aura, but also you are a multidimensional being. So it's working on your energy field on a multidimensional level. It is cleaning and clearing the distortions that have been put in place. That's why we go clockwise or anti-clockwise. We're going against the programming to undo what had been done. And the result of that, the reason why I'm bringing it forward, is because I don't remember if he was on the north or the south side. I want to say the north, but I could be completely incorrect with that, Cosmic Blue Avian. I'm unsure what their choosing process is, Utica. I really don't know. But the important thing is you don't really have to travel to a mystery school. If you want, I'm not too sure if the Dragon Masters course that I had taken is still available or not. Unfortunately, it needed to be shut down earlier in January because Huna Flash did pass away in January. He passed on January 10th. So I'm unsure if the Dragon's Master course is still available. But you can go back through just listening to what I've been doing. You're going to be healing and experiencing and integrating some of the knowledge that I've been sharing just with the birth signs themselves. But if you need, you can go over to Huna Flash TV. That's on YouTube. And you can re-listen to some of his old, any of his old lives. And just allow the energy to come from him and interact with your own energy field. Because it will. You will do what is called a remembering. So it's not just what he is saying, but he is also broadcasting out a frequency. And it's very much the same thing with what happens with me. You're not just picking up what I'm talking about. You're hearing the light codes from that, but you're also picking up my energy field. That has been worked on and honed since day one. But a lot of it is you're remembering. So why you with tapu is what we say. I remember you, or I remember what's going on. Because this is ancient knowledge that's been passed down, and we are coming to the end of the age of Capricorn. We are going into what the Gregorians call the age of Aquarius. It's really, we're moving into Lemurian 5. So what we're doing is we are remembering. You were probably drawn here because your body brought you here, because it's time for you to remember what you already knew. All of us have been here. We've come and gone multiple times. So it's not so much a matter of being taught something. You remember. Yep. Exactly. Randy's got it in one. I remember. I remember me. That's it exactly. And that's what this is about. This is about expanding what your capacity is. And that's just it too. It does take some time. For example, my journey, I took about 3 years to integrate the energy system. And you figure I do a lot of energy work. Your journey may be shorter. Your remembering and your integration for the energy may be much shorter than what I experienced, or it may take you a bit longer as well. It's interesting how many birds. Yes. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, and that's just it. New Zealand and Australia are represented on the ground by the Kopanui. I've heard that the Lemurian crystal helps to awaken the memories as well. Yes, it does. So, well, I wouldn't say must try to meditate with them. I would say play with them. It's not so serious. I think the universe knew what was happening, so it made me to connect. Yeah, and I'm sure that it also had you connect with Huna Flash. Mine was very magical. I was very surprised, but when I had him come across my YouTube feed, it was extremely random. And yet the dolphins and the whales appeared in my morning meditations and shoved me to go ahead and focus on this. So Randy's got to cut out of here. Manja manja. That's so Lemurian. Yes, we feast, we celebrate. Have a good one, Randy. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, there are so much. There's specific energies in and underneath the earth. Absolutely. There are a lot of energies. And that's just it. Each one of the beings that you see in front of you, they also hold spaces on different continents. For example, Honu. Honu will hold the continent of the United States, but it's also all of North America. So it goes from the isthmus down in Panama all the way up through Central and Mexico, and then up into America, all the way through Alaska, Canada. We have also Hawaii is connected to Honu. So this is the continent of the sea turtle. And then the other from South America, from the Isthmus of Panama all the way down through South America, that continent is called Tirani. That is the hummingbird. And so one of the interesting things that happens with that is where those two continents meet, those two motus, you'll see a blending. Sometimes you'll see the hummingbirds blended up into Mexico. I dream of the whales. That's gorgeous. I love the whales. Yeah, often it's my most peaceful work and sleep. I agree. I've had so many dreams where I've slept and I've literally been sleeping with the whales, and they're so peaceful and so loving. But that was pretty much what I had this week as far as my Lemurian focus. So we got there in the end. If anybody has any quick questions, or I can certainly bring back the motus as well if you would prefer to look at them as well. But if anybody has any specific questions, I can certainly field those now. The important thing is to know, though, as we're headed into the new age, it is going to be more and more that we stand in our own sovereignty. Which, even if you're looking at it with the Gregorian, it is it's very similar to the Aquarian age. So you definitely lean into your own sovereignty. So that's something that we're looking forward to. Which continent is Kaka? Kaka will encompass, I don't know, but I believe India. It definitely has the Philippines, all of the islands in between that, China, and Mongolia, I think, is also part of that continent. So I think India is also included in Kaka. If it's not, India is going to be Fachua, but I'm thinking it is going to be Kaka. And it used to represent Lemuria 3. And interestingly enough, with Kaka, it can also be represented by the essence of a phoenix. You're welcome. Which is kind of cool because there's a lot to be said for picking up the essence of the land that you're on as well. So as I was saying, with Kopa Nui, the essence of Kopa Nui it's represented in Australia and New Zealand. But these are very gentle, supportive beings that are coming in to help us with our awakening, helping us to remember, and mostly they're helping us to undo those distortions that were done to our light down here. So it's just looking at them and hearing the names, hearing the essences. It helps to support your healing. Melts away the filters that were put in place, the distortions. It's a little bit of a heavier going this week. We'll go back over here to the lighter light codes. Were the Sirius beings on Lemuria with the Pleiadians, or were they later? I think they were concurrent. Cosmic Blue Avian. I know primarily that when we speak to the Lemuria, it is primarily going to be Pleiadian. But there were Sirius overlays. Yeah, and there were a lot of collaborations that went on. And that's one thing too. We have been here multiple times, and so even though we may have a specific, like for me, the Syrians and Arcturus has been stalking me for a while, but Sirius is one that really resonates with me, and we can come and go multiple times with our Star Nation families. We're not just set on one. You may have one specifically that you align with, that you resonate with. But kind of like down here, we've come and gone through multiple planets, multiple star systems as well. Yeah, major Pleiadian and Venusians. All righty, gang. Well, we're coming up on the hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. That was quite a bit of information that came in here at the very end. Yeah, I connect with Sirius beings that may have worked with the Pleiadians. I resonate with about 5 different star families. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's an activation that came to me that was specifically for the Star Nation family constellations. And that was working with, because sometimes you will hear about different things like the Orion Wars or the Lyrans at a war. And so it helps to, the Star Nation family activation helps to um, drop that angst, because it's an old story. And we only continue to have that to resonate or reappear, or because we are feeding the echo by repeating that. So that helps to collapse that narrative. Yeah, Sirius was the first star that stalked me. And I've always been attracted to Sirius. You're so welcome. Thanks for stopping by, Cosmic Blue Avian, especially since it's so late at night. Yeah, Kelsey or Utica's got that as well. Likes Sirius too. Yeah, I love the Syrians. It's just, actually, I like a lot of the different stars. They've been very supportive, and that's just it. It's time for some gentleness. It's time for just simply bringing in some light and enjoying. And if you're in a situation too where everything is feeling gritty or angry, go ahead and do the bubble technique, where you do bring in the light from above and the light from below to be fully supported. You can imagine a light rod going from planet Matea all the way through you out into the central sun. And that way you're good and anchored, properly anchored. Sirius, Jesus was from there. Jesus was Pleiadian, if I remember right. And that's just it. Nikola Tesla, by all accounts, was Venusian. But yeah, I think Jesus and the Jesus family was Pleiadian, not Syrian. But there again, it's what resonates with you. If I have said that and it doesn't resonate with you, go with what does. The focus does need to stay on gentleness, though, a very gentle unwinding. The mothers, yeah, we can focus next time on that. Okay, gang, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I don't have anything else on the book, so I will see you, it looks like next Tuesday then. And as soon as I can, I will be adding more in. But until then, have fun. Yeah, that's just it. I've always heard that he was Pleiadian, and I know that can be offensive to some people. So it's literally whatever will resonate gently with you. And I understand. I completely understand. Like I said, there have been a lot of distortions, a lot of light distortions placed down here. So sometimes it can be difficult, but that's also why we are doing the undoing, removing the clouds from our eyes so that we can begin to remember ourselves the knowledge that we already have within us. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Much wawa. Wawa nui, which means first principle of first love for Lemuria is wa, W-A, much love, wawa, and wawa nui then is much love to everyone. So, bye. Thank you. Thank you for showing up today.